Australian phenomenon Ben Simmons. Draft day gem Donovan Mitchell. Two phenomenal basketball players balling out in their rookie seasons. There's been so much debate over who truly deserves the Rookie of the Year award, but that's not the focus for this video. We're gonna see who's the better basketball player right now, using their 2017-2018 season performances. But wait, how are we gonna compare them? Basketball debates are either just about numbers or they're about passing this eye test. One way or another, these type of arguments face equal criticism. Numbers don't tell the whole game. But at the same time, a 50-point game is a lot less incredible if it takes 50 shots to get there. No shade, no shade, no shade, no shade, no shade. All this is to say, figuring out if player A is better than player B can get really hard. You'll always hear people saying Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, and vice versa. So what's the solution to this? That's where the versus system, that's where the versus system, this one, comes into play. I wanted to find a way to pit two basketball players against each other in the most effective platform possible. It's more than just who scores more points a game, who shoots the most threes, and who refuses to take Kobe Bryant's advice. I mean, like, really? Like, it's Kobe Bryant. Like, come on, work on your shot. How best can they facilitate for others? How many buckets can they get on their own when the team needs it? These are the type of questions that the stat nerds can answer easily. But what numbers can't easily understand is the dynamic nature of the sport. Although the NBA plays 5-on-5, most casual basketball players rarely play full court compared to half court. Think about it. How often do you and your friends have 10 available people ready to ball? Most of the time, people run 3-on-3s, 2s, or even 1v1s. And this is where we will begin to evolve the basketball debate, by considering how our players fare in these different scenarios. I plan to go more in depth about the VS system in a future video, but I'll get to the point now. We're going to compile 5 different stats I feel best represent the overall effectiveness of a basketball player today. These are long-range shooting, inside shooting, defense, playmaking, and athleticism, or LIDPA for short. All these ratings will be out of 10, and we'll be compiling them with info from StatsNBA.com and ESPN. After we get these stats, we'll have our 2 players compete in 3 different environments that emphasize different skills: 1v1, 3v3, and 5v5. We'll then run 1,000 simulations in each case for a clear result, and whoever takes 2 out of the 3 matches is the winner and the better basketball player. I mean, I guess technically you can win all 3, but you know what I mean, best 2 out of 3. Without further ado, let's begin. Long-range shooting. Long-range shooting is calculated with 3 main components: 3-point impact, a combination of 3-point efficiency and volume, a maximum of 5 points, as the league today loves 3-point shooters; mid-range impact, a combination of mid-range efficiency and volume. A mid-range shot here is going to count as between 10 feet and 19 feet from the rim, a maximum of 2 points since it's not as coveted. And free throw efficiency, it's a maximum of 3 points. Now, let's start with Donovan Mitchell. He's a 34% 3-point shooter, lower than the league average for 3-point shooters at 36%. The system gives Mitchell a 3-point impact of 3 out of 5, which is actually an above average finish. But how is he on that level with such a mediocre shooting percentage? Simply put, it's his volume. Taking 7 threes a game, Donovan was a real outside threat every night. Especially when he got hot, his shooting put so much pressure on the opposition that he created spaces in the lane for himself and his teammates to drive. Likewise for his mid-range game that, while not elite, was good enough with a mid-range impact score of 1 out of 2. Finally, an above-average free throw percentage of 80 gives him a free throw impact score of 2 out of 3. Overall, his long-range impact score is 7 out of 10, definitely in the upper echelon of the NBA. Like seriously, like, a lot of people can't shoot in the NBA. Speaking of shooting, the next guy. Now, for Ben Simmons, not much to say here. He only attempted 11 3-pointers this season and missed/bricked/really missed them all. That's a 0 out of 5 in 3-point shooting impact. His only saving grace was a surprisingly alright mid-range shot and barely making over half of his free throws at 56%. These gave him scores of 1 in both mid-range and free throw. Overall, his long-range impact score was 2 out of 10, definitely not upper echelon. Actually on the brink of Shaquille O'Neal and Dwight Howard levels of shooting. But luckily, the other parts of Simmons' game help him out, and really help him out. Inside shooting. Inside shooting is much simpler, with only one main component. Shots from everywhere within 9 feet to the rim, so everything from hook shots to layups to dunks is fair game. For Donovan Mitchell, a comparison to a young Dwayne Wade is not crazy at all. He holds a wide variety of moves to attack the paint, from his slick Euro step to his insane spin move. I mean seriously, out of all the basketball I watched this season, other than a James Harden or LeBron James straight line drive, Mitchell's spin move seemed to be the most unstoppable. Although he still struggles with efficiency from time to time, a score of 6 out of 10 for a young 6'2 guard is more than good, trust me. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, is a monster. His ferocious drives to the rim make you forget he's a pass-first point guard. For all his credit as a maestro when dishing the ball, he already attacks the rim almost as well as anyone in the league. LeBron, Harden, Anthony Davis, your dad, you name it. Simply put, he's perfect in this category with a perfect 10 out of 10. Defense. An important skill that's pretty much impossible to really get with numbers, but hey, I tried my best. 2 main components here. Defensive real plus minus. In a nutshell, it's a stat for how well your team does on defense when you're on the court compared to when you're off of it. A maximum of 8 points. Steals and block score. The sum of a player's steals and blocks per game. A total of 2 and up is 2 points. Between 1 and 2 is 1 point. Under that, nada. For Donovan Mitchell, he grades out as a slightly below average defender, with the tools necessary to improve though. His DRPM score is 3 out of 8 points, and he also gets a steals and block score of 1 out of 2. This gives him a total defense score of 4 out of 10. His explosive speed and long wingspan help him get deflections and stay in front of his man. He just needs to build more consistency, but he'll be great. He's doing well. For Ben Simmons, he not only has the tools, but he's already using them effectively. His defensive real plus minus score is 4 out of 8 points, and he gets the full steals and block score of 2 out of 2 points, for a total defense score of 6 out of 10. Being 6'10" with a crazy long wingspan allows him to cause havoc in the passing lanes and disrupt interior shots. He's already on his way to being a defensive force in this league. My God. Playmaking has 2 main components. Points scored without an assist, a maximum of 4 points. Points created by assist, a maximum of 6 points. When you can score at least 2 out of every 5 baskets without the help of an assist, you're a pretty decent NBA scorer. Donovan Mitchell scored over 60% of his baskets unassisted, the true mark of an isolation assassin. His amazing handles combined with his endless assortment of moves to attack the defense really make him a complete scorer, getting the perfect points unassisted score of 4 out of 4. And don't sleep on his passing either, averaging 3.7 assists a game. Mitchell always keeps his head up driving and can often find his teammates for dimes. His points created by assist score is 3 points out of 6, giving him an overall playmaking score of 7 out of 10. Ben Simmons passes so well that people forget how great of a scorer he is, despite his lack of a jump shot. He scored 65% of his points without an assist, even higher than Mitchell's elite mark. Being 6'10" with a handle makes you a walking mismatch, and being able to score with either hand just makes you plain unfair. This man also earns the perfect points unassisted score of 4 out of 4 points. Imagine this man added a working jump shot to his arsenal. As for his passing, all the Magic Johnson comparisons are so justified, it's scary. He can really do it all, dishing between his legs, behind the back, no-look dimes. You can see how comfortable he was with the rock from the first time he stepped on the court, on his way to 8 assists a game. It seems like robbery to only give him 5 out of 6 points in the points created by assist score, but that top spot is reserved for the truly elite assist men like Chris Paul and John Wall. But Simmons just barely missed the cutoff by less than 2 points. He's basically already there, with an overall playmaking score of 9 out of 10. He barely, I might put a graphic on the screen, but he was really close to the top score. Athleticism. Now I know this last one might sound really strange to include, but hear me out. Compare someone like LeBron James to someone like Kevin Love, but take away all their basketball skills like shooting, passing, and dribbling. If you had to choose one player for a team, you would choose LeBron 10 times out of 10. Why? Why would you? Not because he's black, I hope. I hope not. You'll choose the one who jumps higher, looks stronger, and runs faster. Having elite athleticism in the NBA is so vital when it comes down to getting chase down blocks, dunking over the opposition, and going from one end of the court to another in 4 strides. How are we going to measure this though? Well, I tried and failed to use NBA draft measurements like hand size and percent body fat, but it wasn't really useful and it was getting way too analytical. I ended up coming up with something much more simpler and probably worse, but it's way more fun looking at it like this. Height score. The NBA is an elite physical environment. If you think about it, the shorter and smaller you are, you become exponentially overmatched. So you'll have to jump higher or be stronger or run faster to compensate for your height. So I give shorter players a higher height score, as they're more likely to have greater athletic attributes to make up for their height, a maximum of 4 points. Dunk score. No other easier way to quantify how athletic you are. I mean, no other cooler way, I guess. We can expect those that dunk more often to be more athletic, right? It's a maximum of 10 points, but the sum of these two scores will always max out at 10. You're not gonna get like a 14 or something. Donovan Mitchell is a 6'2", 6'3" guard, but you probably couldn't tell that with his crazy long wingspan. He gets the full score of 4 out of 4 for his height, and you can tell here his athleticism, his crazy burst when he's driving through the lanes and when he's going up for putback dunks, that he's got some bounce, he's got some speed, and he's got game. So he gets the dunk score of 5 out of 10, giving him a total score of 9 out of 10 for athleticism, which is scary. That's like Russell Westbrook status. Remember when I said Ben Simmons was a walking mismatch, monster, unfair? Yeah, all that. He gets a 2 out of 4 in the height score because he's 6'10", but he already had a perfect score in the dunk column, so there was no point in it. He already gets a perfect 10 out of 10 in athleticism. Like really, he has incredible explosive burst. He has a crazy long wingspan. He's fast. He's unfair. He's just. So now we're wrapping up, so I'm just going to show the final stats for each person here. And yeah, you guys can just take your votes now and just try to guess who's going to win, because the result will be pretty interesting. I might have forgotten to mention, but in each of these environments, they differ not only in name, but in terms of the skills that are emphasized. I'm going to go into this in a later video, but just know that in each environment, for example, 1v1, I ordered these skills that I felt were most important in this order: athleticism, inside scoring, and long range shooting. So as you can see here, after 1,000 matches, Ben Simmons destroys Donovan Mitchell in 1v1. And before you ask, yes, it doesn't count up to 1,000 because the simulation sometimes ends in a draw rather than someone else winning over the other. So yeah, as you can see, based on what was emphasized, athleticism, they're pretty even in that. But inside scoring, Ben Simmons is on another level. When you think about it, in a 1v1 match, yes, Ben Simmons versus Donovan Mitchell, if Donovan got the ball first, all right, yeah, he'd have a chance, but Ben Simmons can play D, and once he misses a shot, Ben Simmons is just gonna post him up, go inside, and Donovan Mitchell has no way of stopping him. Even if Ben Simmons can shoot, in a 1v1, that doesn't matter. So yeah, Ben Simmons easily takes that match. Okay, in 3v3, these are different skills that are emphasized. Again, in my opinion, this is not like fact or anything. Defense, playmaking, and long range shooting. So after 1,000 matches of 3v3, it's a bit closer than the 1v1s, but Ben Simmons is still the clear winner. And yeah, when you think about it, with defense and playmaking being the top 2 skills that I felt were emphasized, Ben Simmons is just better than Donovan Mitchell at this point. Defensive wise, in a 3v3, Ben Simmons can pretty much guarantee to guard the other 2 men on the other team squad better than Donovan Mitchell can. And his playmaking is just otherworldly. He can definitely make his 2 teammates shine. And lastly, for 5v5, the 3 skills I thought were most important were, in this order: long range shooting, playmaking, and inside scoring. So surprise, surprise, Donovan Mitchell actually takes this one over Ben Simmons after 1,000 5v5s. And yeah, seeing that the top skill was long-range shooting, it makes sense. But think about it even more. This isn't saying that you wouldn't pick Ben Simmons first if you had to pick a team of 5. Just that in today's NBA, you need shooting. And Donovan Mitchell, you can plug into most NBA modern lineups and he'll do work for you. But Ben Simmons, not to say he's not a star by any means, but you need shooters around him to make his passing really effective. And luckily, he has that now on the 76ers with JJ Redick, Robert Covington, and Darius Saric on the floor with him usually. So yeah, basically, you need shooting, and Donovan Mitchell does it pretty well. So yeah, basically, Ben Simmons wins 2 out of the 3 matches. And yeah, he is the better player in my opinion right now. But honestly, these 2 players are really good. When I ran these simulations, their 2 scores were in the top 10% of the league. Like, they're on par with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Chris Paul. Like, they're right there in terms of overall player effectiveness, and it's scary that these two people are in their rookie seasons. Like, it's amazing to see how competitive this Rookie of the Year race is, and no matter who wins, and honestly, it should be, if you want to hear my real thoughts, it should be Ben Simmons. Like, nobody said anything when Blake Griffin won the Rookie of the Year award over John Wall, and he was drafted the year before. Like, it doesn't matter though. Like, it takes nothing away from Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's an amazing player. Ben Simmons is an amazing player, and they're both pretty much stars right now, which is so scary to believe. Like, 2 rookies, not 1, but 2 rookies are performing like beasts. So yeah, this was a great time, and I'm glad that I chose these 2 people for my first video. If you guys are still watching to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. This was my first serious YouTube video, and it took a long time to edit and even longer to think of the entire idea. If you guys have any suggestions for any matchups you want to see, I'll do any. I'll really, like, I'm fine doing. These are so much fun. Like, I'll do any matchup that you guys want to see in the NBA. Or if you have any questions about the Versus system or the code I used to write the entire thing to grade the players, like, by all means, please ask. Please comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is 2Line, and peace out.